Barack Obama also campaigning aggressively. He was in Washington. He spoke to the Congressional Black Caucus, and it sounded like it was 1966.
It did sound like it was 1966. It turns out we have a black president.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I heard this speech. No,
I think members of the Congressional Black Caucus didn't know it either.
Well, yeah. Apparently they didn't think so.
This sounded that you're going to hear from Barack Obama here in a manner that you haven't heard him sound at all. I mean, it's back to that thing, and you realize why you were so excited back in 2008, because he's capable of sounding great. Let's listen to Barack Obama at the Congressional Black Caucus, because as he channels Martin Luther King, sometimes he gets tired, but he's going to press on.
So I don't know about you, CBC, but the future rewards those who press on. With patient and firm determination, I'm going to press on for jobs. I'm going to press on for equality. I'm going to press on for the sake of our children. I'm going to press on for the sake of all those families who are struggling right now. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. I expect all of you to march with me and press on.
That's good stuff.
That was that was a good speech. I mean, that was a very exciting presidential moment. To hear the president speak with passion, which we don't hear very often, is always great. And it's only speaking to that audience. But
yeah, and he's about to tell that audience to shut up.
Right, I was going to say. But
he does it with passion.
No, I was just going to say, he's about to tell them stuff that they just don't want to hear, and that's funny too.
Take off your bedroom slippers. Put on your marching shoes. Shake it off. Stop complaining. Stop grumbling. Stop crying. We are going to press on. We've got work to do. CBC, God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.
Boom.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, I think the president is actually frustrated. I think he's frustrated that people. There's a little bit about this president that makes you think that he does things with a wink and a nod. That he said, "Listen, I know what you all want. I'm going to get to it. It's going to happen. But for the moment, it's not going to happen." And I just feel like when he speaks to his built-in constituencies, he has a bad time communicating that. I think he does it with gays. He did it with DADT with the gays, and the everyone who was pushing that legislation. I think he's had a hard time with the CBC here because of that. I think people are impatient with good reason. But I also think the president feels like he has them in their back pocket, and he doesn't. He cannot take people.
Yeah, but
for granted.
Don't you think that I think that people are impatient because he's failed, and in the capacity to deliver on those things. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that yes, at that route, but I think that's what I'm talking about here. I think the president feels like I'm not going to fail. We're not going to fail. It's just going to take a little bit of time. We're going to hear from Maxine Waters, a congressman out here in California, a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, and I'm not sure they were really disagreeing. Like, I don't quite know from where her criticism was, because she says that we're with it. But anyway, she took exception, or at least expressed some surprise that he had said that to stop complaining. Yeah. So here is Maxine Waters reacting afterwards.
Well, I'm not sure exactly who the president was talking to. As you know, the Congressional Black Caucus has been out in 5 cities where we held town hall meetings and jobs fairs addressing this 16.7 unemployment that's real, that translates in some areas to 30-40% unemployment, and with black youth, 50% unemployment. So I'm not sure who the president was addressing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the president got caught up in his words, too. I mean, he got caught up in the moment and went, I think, passionately far in this speech. It's true.
Which way?
He hasn't
done the criticism?
No, in the criticism, and also in the rhetoric. I sort of think that, Maxine Waters is taking apart word by word what the president said, and which she has the right to do. The president, I think, and not defending him, because he put himself in this position, as you said, and I agree totally. But the president is also speaking to the caucus and saying, we're going to get to this stuff. You know that I care about this stuff. stuff. We need votes now. I'm running for president again, and I need you.
Here he's addressing the CBC, but the complaints he could have been talking to gays. He could have been talking to Latinos, frustrated with his stance on immigration reform. He could have been, and his failure to press the DREAM Act. He could have been talking to progressives, upset about the economy and failure to take on Wall Street. In this case, it happened to be blacks, but I think everybody essentially stands in the same place as expressing frustration, and I don't think saying I'll get to it is effective. Here's Maxine Waters criticizing the president on criticizing the caucus as she defends as she defends them and suggests that he would never have said these things about other ethnic groups.
I found that language a bit curious because the president spoke to the Hispanic caucus, and certainly they're pushing him on immigration. And despite the fact that he's appointed Sotomayor to the Supreme Court, he has an office for excellence in Hispanic education right in the White House. They're still pushing him. He certainly didn't tell them to stop complaining, and he would never say that to the gay and lesbian community who really pushed him on don't ask, don't tell, or even in a speech to AIPAC, he would never say to the Jewish community, stop complaining about Israel. So I don't know who he was talking to, because we're certainly not complaining.
Okay.
We're working. We support him, and we're protecting that base because we want people to be enthusiastic about him.
Doesn't it help him that he delivers a speech before the Congressional Black Caucus, has a degree of criticism of them, which he fails to deliver very effectively, but nonetheless that he criticizes the Congressional Black Caucus during the speech? He's going to get, obviously there's going to be a lot of talk from the right that he's kowtowing, that he's that whatever the Congressional Black Caucus wants Barack Obama does. That'll be their line. The socialist Barack Obama does whatever the blacks want. So then he gets Maxine Waters to come out the next day and criticize him for the speech.
Yeah.
I mean, the administration does not see Maxine Waters, I don't think, showing up on CBS and think, oh, stop hammering us. I think it helps him.
What he needs to do is what he's doing, and he's starting with the Congressional Black Caucus, is to go out there and tell people, I hear you. We're gonna make this work, but in order for me to actually hear you and do something about it, you have to reelect me. I mean, that's what's starting right now. Listen, I'm going to trust him on that. I'm going to trust him on that because I want him to beat any of these yahoos who are running against him, because I'm a Democrat, because I like him. I think that I just find him frustrating. And I think it's understandable that all these groups find him frustrating.
Can I tell you where some of maybe that frustration is coming from with Maxine Waters' aside? And in that last clip when she brought up how he wouldn't say that to these three other groups. And yes, he told all of them patience. As you said, there's this tone. And historically, black folks are written off. It's like, yeah, I hear concerns, but you're just black folks anyway. And then there's usually not enough of a fiery group behind a lot of black people's concerns in the country. And that's generally what the Congressional Black Caucus is for. So if he's speaking to them, and maybe not to just lazy folks, she's like, we're doing things. We're actually helping the community that elected us to help them. Because every community has a group of people that they've elected to help them in general.
Except the Jews. Yeah. We're trying to get one.
We're working on it.
We can't catch a freaking break. Go on. Sorry.
You can say things to each of them like, okay, calm down, be patient. Or then you can say, it basically is like, get out. There was the other words. These things were written. Get out of bed, take off your slippers, you lazy black folks. Put on some boots and go to work.
It's start marching, which is which is thematic. There's a history to that. Begin the march.
And it has tones of, and like I said, I don't think he meant it this way. That's why it's weird, because you're calculated on everything else when you're a politician, except when you don't know how this can possibly sound, because they don't really vote that much anyway. But he needs them though.